And a good tactic is to read widely and critically when you are like getting in information. Another way that you can improve your thinking is expose yourself to diverse viewpoints. Challenge your existing belief. Example of that is reading both sides of a political debate. Like in this time, we need to be able to read those type of thoughts of people, from Democrats and Republicans, and also they cultivate curiosity. Another way to cultivate or to improve your thinking is to ask open-ended questions, which is to explore topics outside your expertise. Example of that is taking a course in a unfamiliar subject like philosophy and engage in discussions. The last point that I wanted to put here is also how can you improve is to exchange ideas with others to refine your own thinking. Be open to constructive criticism. Example of that is to join a debate club or book discussion group. Oh, no, I have another one, which is the practice of the mindfulness, which is to stay present, to focus your thoughts, avoid jumping to conclusions too quickly. An example of that is to pause, to breathe before responding in a heated discussion. So like always, I am a bookworm and I like to recommend books. All of these books I have read it and I have divided them according to the thinking, to the different type of thinking. If you are looking for a book related to critical thinking, is Think Fast and Think Slow by those authors there. The Art of Thinking Clearly. Also for creative thinking is Still Like an Artist, or The World of Art by Steven Pressfield, which is a very good book. For analytic thinking is Super Forecasting, The Art and Science of Prediction, or The Factfulness, which is also a very good book that helps you to think very clearly about facts. For books related for reflective thinking, The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, or Dating Greatly, which is a book that we read in our women's club by Brené Brown. And for strategic thinking, Good Strategy, Bad Strategy, and The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, which everybody knows about these books. To conclude, improving your thinking enhances your ability to navigate complex challenges and make better decisions. It is a key for achieving personal and professional goals, fostering happiness, maintaining balance, and building strong relationships. For all you do in life, you got to start very small and adapt one strategy at the time, practicing one type of thinking or reading one book for this guide. So remember, as Napoleon Hill said, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can be achieved. So thank you very much. Let me just stop here. Stop sharing.
Thank you, Ms. Aldana, for sharing your expertise with us today. Your presentation was insightful and thought-provoking. We appreciate the time you took to prepare it and present it on this important topic. Thank you. Thank you. Now, I'll present our next guest speaker, Dr. Juan Medina. Dr. Juan Medina possesses many years of working experiences as a counselor. Therapies that include the following areas: depression, anxiety disorder, bipolar disorder, eating disorder, substance use and abuse, adjustment disorder. Dr. Medina has worked with children, teenagers, adolescents, adults, and older adults. He has experience working with the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorder, DSM-5. Dr. Medina's strength as a counselor includes working with adolescents in individual counseling, as well as family group, couples counseling. Now, without further ado, please welcome Dr. Juan Medina.
Thank you, Rosario, for the introduction. Thank everybody for uh, taking the time being here today and on a Sunday in which we know there'll be other great things that maybe you could be doing with your family and things like that. But I wanted to thank you. Thank you all for being in here. Um, as it relates to the topic that I'm invited to talk about, there's a couple of things for housekeeping that I wanted to put on the table. And I'll start with a quote that says, from earth to dust, from dust to earth. So that is the spiritual and biblical principle that state of who we are, where we come from. Okay, contrary to those are, the Darwinism, or those who believe that we are the result of evolution and a big bang. One common denominator for us to keep in mind is that out of all the species, we are the only species on the planet that has all the elements that are composed of the planet and the universe. So that is science facts. You can look at it and see how all of these puzzles or all these pieces to the puzzles are going to be put together, in my presentation. So as it relates to the topic, to the root cause on addiction, one thing to bear in mind and also to keep in mind is that giving the both uh, those who believe in the creation and the scientific or evolution or human, the question as to who we are and where we come from is something that has challenged humanity for many years and will continue to challenge humanity for many years. So, as it relates to the cause and root or addition, then what we need to think about is that having in ourselves all those elements that are on the planet, how sensible we are to become addicted to anything that we can come in contact with, whether it's something that we could think about uh, related to. Can you guys see me?
Yes, I
Yeah,
could.
yeah, we can see you. Yeah, it's
All
good.
right. All right. So, as it relates to the stuff that we think about, but also the stuff that we do. So, to take it into context, uh, and I'll get a quote from Dr. Gabo Marte. Okay, so it's kind of hard for me to pronounce it because I'm from the South in the Dominican Republic, and we tend to put an emphasis on the R. Okay, but Gabo Marte state that uh, the result of addiction are childhood trauma that at some point we experience in our life, and as a result of that, we engage ourselves into finding ways to deal with those things that we don't know what happened to us, how it got to us, and perhaps in some instant to even try to deal with with the pain, with the psychological pain that we had to encounter into our life. Um, Not only him, but also uh, Dr. Ellis talk about the whole issue of addiction as being as an irrational thought, okay, geared towards uh, as particularly to those human genetic needs that we have, and perhaps as a result of finding ourselves in an environment, then we can be susceptible to engage into addictive behavior. So, as an example of that, so I'm going to use myself as an example. All right. Uh, I am addicted to shopping and I am addicted to clothes. I love clothes. Okay. One of the things that I had done as a strategy that I've been implemented for the past 15 years is that I've been avoiding going to the malls, or I've been avoiding going to the store, because I used to be the type of guy that will go, let's say, for example, to Brooks Brothers, and I will be walking around, coming out of the store with 7, 10 suits, 12 shirts, 15 ties, you name it. That's the type of guy that I was. So as part of this strategy, one of the things that I had done is that I had taken myself to write a note in terms of the stuff that I need to buy. And with all the respect to the females on the audience, I avoid interacting with women when I go to the store because it makes it very difficult when they say to me, "That shirt looks very nice, Juan Carlos." It looks very nice on you. Although that's not the type of shirt that I'm looking for, I end up taking the shirt with me. So, and getting into the topic, so addiction is the common denominator among all of us. Given the history of where we come from, who we are, and all the elements that we have in our body that we can make us very susceptible to become addictive. Okay, whether it's, we talk about, for example, the addiction of food. We talking about, Rosario was talking about how innocent and how unconscious is for all of us to engage in this type of behavior without even knowing, with the understanding. And as a Freud stated, so if you can get fit, if you become aware of the stuff that you're doing that are affecting your life, then you have 50% of the problem.